Late night glow on silent screens. Another story in between. Coffee cold, fingers fly beneath a vast, watchful sky.
Good day, Philippines. Today, December 8th, the nation pauses to honor the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, a day recognized as a special non-working holiday. This observance, deeply rooted in Catholic tradition, reflects the country's enduring faith and cultural heritage. The Feast of the Immaculate Conception commemorates the belief that the Virgin Mary was conceived without original sin. It is one of the most significant Marian feasts in the Catholic calendar in the Philippines, where Catholicism is the dominant faith. This day has long been celebrated with masses, processions, and community gatherings. Churches across the country, from Manila Cathedral to provincial parishes, are holding special liturgical services today, drawing thousands of devotees. The Department of Labor and Employment has issued Labor Advisory Number 17, Series of 2025, reminding employers of proper holiday pay rules. Employees reporting for work today must receive 130% of their basic wage for the first 8 hours. Overtime hours earn an additional 30%. If the holiday falls on a rest day and employees still report, they are entitled to 150% of their wage for the first 8 hours. For those not reporting, the no work, no pay principle applies, unless company policy grants payment on special days. Beyond the workplace, the holiday is felt in everyday life. Schools are closed, government offices are on break, and many families take the opportunity to gather for prayer or reflection. In some towns, local governments organize Marian processions, blending faith with festive celebration. The day also serves as a reminder of the Philippines' unique identity as the only predominantly Catholic nation in Asia, where religious observances continue to shape public holidays and national rhythms. For those not reporting, the no work, no pay principle applies, unless company policy grants payment on special days. Now, let's turn to labor and employment. As the nation observes today's special non-working holiday, the Department of Labor and Employment reminds both employers and employees of the proper pay rules. These guidelines ensure fairness and protect workers who continue to report for duty despite the holiday. First, employees who report for work today must receive 130% of their basic wage for the first 8 hours. That means if a worker's daily wage is $500, they should be paid $65 for their shift. Second, overtime hours earn an additional 30% of the hourly rate. So if an employee's hourly rate is 62.5 RZ, overtime pay should be 81.25 per hour. Third, if the holiday falls on a rest day and employees still report, they are entitled to 150% of their basic wage for the first 8 hours. Using the same example, that would be $705 for a day's work. Consider a nurse working in a hospital today. If her regular daily wage is $700, she will earn $910 for her 8-hour shift. If she works 2 hours overtime, each hour should be paid at $13,655 DN. For a factory worker whose rest day coincides with the holiday, a $600 wage becomes $900 for the day. These computations highlight how holiday rules directly impact take-home pay. Employers are reminded that failure to comply may result in penalties, while employees are encouraged to check their pay slips to ensure proper compensation. These rules reflect the balance between honoring religious and cultural traditions, while recognizing the essential services that must continue even on holidays. Healthcare workers, security personnel, transport operators, and media staff are among those who often report for duty. The holiday pay rules serve as both recognition and reward for their commitment. For businesses, compliance is not only a legal obligation, but also a gesture of goodwill that strengthens trust between management and employees. While many Filipinos are taking a break today in observance of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, the Department of Labor and Employment reminds us of the long-standing principle, no work, no pay. This means that employees who do not report for duty on this special non-working holiday will not receive wages unless their company has a policy granting payment on such days. The no work, no pay principle is rooted in labor law and applies specifically to special non-working holidays. Unlike regular holidays, where employees are entitled to pay even if they do not report for work, special holidays operate differently. In practice, this means that unless a company has voluntarily adopted a policy of paying employees on special days, workers who stay home today will not earn wages. Employers are encouraged to communicate these policies clearly to avoid confusion and ensure transparency. Take, for instance, a retail employee whose daily wage is $500. If the company does not have a special holiday pay policy, the employee does not report for work. They will not receive any wage for December 8th. On the other hand, if the company has a policy granting holiday pay, even without reporting, that same employee would still receive $500 for the day. In industries like healthcare or transportation, where employees are often required to report, the rules differ. Those who work are entitled to premium pay, while those who do not may forfeit wages unless covered by company policy. For workers, the no work, no pay rule can be challenging, especially for those living paycheck to paycheck. It underscores the importance of understanding company policies and planning ahead for special holidays. For employers, offering pay on special days can be a gesture of goodwill, boosting morale and loyalty among staff. Some companies choose to extend benefits to foster stronger relationships with their workforce. Ultimately, the rule highlights the balance between labor rights and business realities. Reminding both sides of their responsibilities, we now go to Sylvania Bustros.
I'm Sylvania Bustros. Let's focus on the government's reminder. The Department of Labor and Employment has issued Labor Advisory Number 17 Series of 2025 to ensure compliance across the private sector. This advisory is meant to safeguard workers' rights and guide employers in properly implementing holiday pay rules. Labor Advisory Number 17 outlines the specific pay structures for employees working on December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. It reiterates the rules: 130% of the basic wage for those reporting on a special non-working holiday, additional 30% for overtime, and 150% if the holiday falls on a rest day. The advisory also emphasizes that companies must post notices or inform employees clearly about these entitlements to avoid disputes. DOLE reminds employers that compliance is not optional. Inspectors may conduct spot checks, and violations can lead to penalties or sanctions. The advisory serves as a legal reference point, ensuring that both employers and employees understand their obligations and rights. For workers, this means they have a clear basis to claim proper compensation. For employers, it provides a framework to avoid legal issues and maintain good labor relations. Consider a call center operating 24/7. If employees are required to report today, management must apply the holiday pay rules as outlined in Advisory Number 17. In manufacturing plants, where shifts often overlap with holidays, compliance ensures that workers are not shortchanged. The broader impact is significant. By enforcing these rules, DOLE strengthens trust between labor and management, promotes fairness, and upholds the dignity of work. It also reflects the government's commitment to balancing cultural observance with economic activity. We now join Jenny Perez.
I'm Jenny Perez. In sports news, all eyes were on Temecula, California this past weekend, where Jimuel Pacquiao, the eldest son of Filipino boxing icon Manny Pacquiao, stepped into the ring for his professional debut. The 24-year-old fought American Brendan Lally in a 4-round lightweight contest, ending in a majority draw. The bout took place at the Pachanga Resort Casino, drawing a sellout crowd and international media attention. Judges delivered split scorecards. One ruled 39-37 in favor of Pacquiao, while the other two scored it 38-38, resulting in an official majority draw. Pacquiao started aggressively in the early rounds, but struggled to maintain momentum against Lally's pressure, appearing winded by the final bell. Manny Pacquiao himself was ringside, watching closely as his son carried the family name into the professional ranks. The fight came just weeks after Jimuel welcomed his first child, adding personal weight to his debut. The younger Pacquiao admitted the preparation was difficult, but said he was grateful for the experience, noting the difference between amateur and professional competition. Jimuel Pacquiao told reporters, "Next time I fight, I'm going to push the pace much harder. I'm happy I was able to experience this." His father expressed pride, saying he would personally help guide Jimuel's career moving forward. Boxing analysts noted that while the debut was not a victory, it was a respectable start, especially given Pacquiao's limited amateur background. Just 10 fights before turning pro, both fighters now share identical records of 0-1, 0-1, leaving fans eager to see how Pacquiao will adjust in his next outing. Jimuel Pacquiao's debut may not have ended in triumph, but it marked the beginning of a new chapter, the Pacquiao legacy. With his father's guidance and lessons learned from this first professional test, the young fighter is expected to return stronger. We will now return to Lydia Dela Cruz.
Let's take a look at today's media rundown. Outlets like the Manila Bulletin are providing comprehensive coverage across politics, business, health, and entertainment, giving Filipinos a snapshot of the nation's pulse in their daily news summaries. In politics, the Bulletin highlights ongoing debates in Congress over fiscal reforms and budget allocations for 2026. Reports also focus on local governance with updates on provincial leaders preparing for next year's elections. Analysts note that political coverage remains crucial as decisions made in Manila ripple across communities nationwide. On the business front, the Bulletin tracks the peso's performance against the US dollar, alongside updates on inflation and consumer prices. Coverage includes corporate earnings reports, investment trends, and government infrastructure projects. For small business owners, these stories provide insight into market conditions and opportunities for growth. Health reporting continues to spotlight public campaigns on vaccination, nutrition, and mental wellness. The Bulletin also covers hospital capacity and healthcare workforce challenges, reflecting the ongoing need for systemic improvements. These stories resonate with families, reminding them of the importance of accessible and affordable healthcare for small business owners. And these stories provide insight into market conditions and opportunities for growth. In entertainment, the Bulletin features local film festivals, celebrity updates, and cultural events. Lifestyle sections highlight food, travel, and fashion, offering readers a lighter balance to the day's heavier headlines. Coverage of arts and culture underscores the Philippines' vibrant creative scene, from indie music to traditional performances, from politics to entertainment. The Manila Bulletin and other outlets provide a daily mosaic of stories that reflect the nation's challenges and celebrations. These rundowns keep Filipinos informed, engaged, and connected to the broader currents shaping their lives. As the country marks this day of devotion, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception stands as both a spiritual and cultural anchor. Whether through prayer, family gatherings, or simply a pause from work, Filipinos nationwide are united in honoring this tradition. This has been Lydia Dela Cruz reporting on today's Holiday Observance. Good evening, and God bless.
Late night glow on silent screens.